I'll post some pictures about how I had to get it unloaded. Not too happy. I paid $180 to have a liftgate delivery. Yet to have forks for my tractor. That's got to be next. So the guy couldn't unload it. I had to drag it out of his truck onto the liftgate, and then he lowered it, and then I drug it off into the gravel right here, and then I just used the chain to drag it over to where it's at. So I gotta get it uncrated and hook up to it, and get it out of here, off the driveway. Hey guys, welcome back to Tractors and Stuff. My name's Nick. Before we get started today, I do need to address a few things really quick. Before I forget, I've been meaning to talk about this for a while now, and the one of the big things is if you leave me a comment on one of my older videos, YouTube doesn't notify me. So please shoot me an email if you really need your comment, question, or something like that answered, and I'll do my best to find it. You can find my email, I'll leave it in the description of this video, but you can also find it always in the About tab here on my channel. So what else we got going on today? The subject of today's video is I got a new toy, and I'm going to talk about that toy today. I'm going to show it off. We finally got some snow, and we got enough snow where it's actually going to work pretty well. I have used it quite a bit here in the past. But today I'm actually able to clear my driveway and blow the snow with the new snowblower with light. So I've been, because it's winter, it's always dark, right? So I either blow early in the morning before I go to work or after I get home. And today I'm actually home. I'm on Christmas vacation, and we finally got some snow last night worthy of actually filming and showing how this thing works. It is kind of a love-hate relationship. I did get it in August of this year. I take that back. I ordered it in August of this year. I didn't get it until about November. So I've been trying to keep it a secret. You may have noticed it in the background of some of the videos I posted here recently. But I haven't been able to really show it off because we haven't had the right conditions for me to do that. So what are we going to do today? Well, I'm going to talk about the snowblower, then we're going to go clear the driveway because I really got to get that done. So I'm going to go handheld with the new GoPro. I really love this GoPro, by the way. And we're going to show this snowblower. All right, so this is the MK Martin Meteor 72. It is a inverted snowblower, meaning that it mounts to the back. You drive over the snow, and it picks it up and throws it out the chute. There's a dog over there. Find something to sniff on. So I do have the hydraulic rotation and the deflector. It runs on PTO. It is 72 inches wide. And basically, it is a box blade with an auger. I only have two hydraulic remotes on this tractor, so I wasn't able to get the rear scraper blade that you can actually get with this snowblower. It mounts right here, and the tab on the other side. What that allows you to do is back up to walls, garage doors, that sort of thing. It does work really well, and I'm excited to show it to you guys in action. All right, so the only microphone that I have today, I was hoping to be able to wear my lapel microphone, but the batteries are completely dead, and I need to get out here and get this done. You know, make hay while the sun shines, right? So I got my shotgun mic mounted on that camera. I think I'm just going to take that camera with me. This one here is going to get mounted all over the place. I'm going to try to anyway. We'll see how that works, and we'll go from there. All right, let's get fired up and get going. I'm gonna take this guy. All right, let's get this thing going. Got it mounted up behind me back here. First thing we need to do, we are at an absolute idle. Turn the PTO on. Now spinning nice and slow. Let's rev it up. Brake off. Shoot! It's facing the wrong way, so I need to rotate it. So we're in 3, range 2, forward. take all hands and feet. I'll point the chute directly at the cab, that'd be bad. I gotta blow it a little bit forward of us here. Oops. Well, that was fun. You know, I said in the intro that it's a love-hate relationship with this thing, and I'm going to take this opportunity now to explain myself a little more. I'm going to grab the GoPro, and we'll get in nice and close. I can show you what I'm talking about. So a few of the things that I don't like about this, first off, let me explain. I love this thing. It is way better than using the box blade and the front end loader to plow the driveway. I just did my driveway plus all the way up to the neighbor's house up the hill that I share the driveway with in about 30 minutes. Now, doing this amount of snow with the front end loader and the box blade last year would have taken me about an hour. So it really cuts down on the time. And it doesn't suck up all the gravel like the box blade and the front end loader would do. So, and now that we have a nice good driveway, I want to keep it, you know, with as much gravel on it as possible. But let's talk about some of the cons of this thing. First, the thrower doesn't really throw it very far. Now, it's getting better as the snow gets a little bit drier as we get colder. But early on, when I first started using this thing, it wouldn't throw it very far. Maybe 4 or 5 feet off the edge of the side there. So I was kind of disappointed in that. Like I said, it's getting better. I wish this was a little bit, would angle more up and throw it higher up onto the side of the hill. But that's a little tic-tacky thing. One of the other things I don't like about this is the fact that it does actually get gravel. If you look down here, you can see that cutting edge. The way I have it set right now with the shoes, it's actually angled backwards. And I do that with the top link right here. I got it pretty pushed back. And that's try to not cut into the gravel so much. When I first started using this thing, it was throwing gravel everywhere. And that's money going off to the side of the road, you know. Also, the very first time I used it, I actually broke the shear pin. It's way down inside there. And it's really hard to get to. Now, there is a door, and it's buried in the snow. You can see the knob for it right here. And that takes this plate off. It gives you a little bit more access, but it's not that great. So the way this thing works, as you drive forward, if you break that shear pin, the whole thing comes to a screeching halt, obviously. But your tractor keeps moving, plowing snow and packing it in there. So in order to change the shear pin, you have to get it lined up again. Well, you can disconnect the PTO, get the shear pin put back in, but then your PTO, chances are, will not line back up. And when I broke the shear pin, it did not. So I had to shovel all the snow out of there as best I can, and it's jammed up for a reason, right? It broke that shear pin for a reason. Probably a rock or something jammed in there. So trying to turn the auger was a nightmare. I ended up getting my weed burner torch and actually burning out all the snow and melting the rocks and then trying to turn it. Actually, I ended up, after doing all that and it still wouldn't turn, after about an hour of fighting with it, I put a pipe wrench on the shaft right here and cranked it over, and that broke it free and got me up and running again. That was the very first time I used it, and it did not leave a good lasting impression. Also, this chain, this is a roller chain, and it is on the inside of the snow blower. Now you might be saying, well, that's not a bad deal, but why couldn't they mount it to the outside? You know, I mean, all it would take is the bearings and everything to be on this side, and you know, going back there. I mean, it's fine, it works, but I'm worried about like rocks and stuff getting in there, because this thing does pick up rocks. Even with it raked all the way back like it is, it still picks up rocks. And I'm worried that a rock could get in there, jam things up, break a tooth, stuff like that. This thing also, on the subject of rocks, will also throw rocks out of this thing like a shotgun. And I'm not talking just coming out of the chute. It does that too. I'm talking about everywhere up front here. I mean, there's no place safe around this while it's operating on a gravel driveway. I had rocks coming up here today while I was doing this and impacting up here somewhere. It scared the crap out of me. Sounded like you know, a giant rock hitting the windshield. So, you know, that's not cool that it does that. I would like for more deflectors or stuff like that. Then it makes it harder to get to for maintenance, but you know, on a gravel driveway. So this thing is open, the chute is open, and it's nice, you know, if you get a plug or something like that, you can easily get to it. But it also piles the snow right here, and as you saw in the videos, it would shoot out a big stream out here fine, but it also had like this fan of snow that was coming this way, and this is the evidence of it, and it's just, you know, piled on here. So again, all this has got to be brushed off, you know, and kicked off, and it's just one of those extra things that, you know, maybe if that had a plate going, you know, across here, that would be better and more helpful. But it is what it is. Again, that's kind of a tic-tacky thing. While editing this video, I discovered that I didn't really put in a good place to talk about what you're about to see coming up. And it goes back to November when I received this snowblower. Now, I got the snowblower, I got it out of the crate, I got it hooked up to it just fine. However, when putting it together, I ran into an issue with the hydraulic ram, the hydraulic cylinder for the chute deflector. The fitting sizes were incorrect for the hose sizes that they sent me. Instead of reaching out to the company or the MK Martin itself, the dealership or the manufacturer to get this fixed right, I just went ahead and got the correct fittings and got it done. Now I remember filming me actually finishing the assembly of the snowblower. It did take me about a week since I had to wait to go get those parts, but I can't find that video. So we're going to go ahead now with the first video of when I actually got it, and you'll see this is when I was assembling it way back in November. Alright, I just want to give you a really quick update. You can see behind me here is the crate that I got the snowblower from. I just took off the one end of it and hooked up to it. So I'm gonna flip the camera around. Here it is, hooked up to the tractor. I don't have the PTO hooked up. Here's the chute. So, well, I was filming with my big camera, but I looked over at it just a few minutes ago after doing some work and discovered that it said card full. And I don't know if it's been all copied off or not. I've been doing a lot of filming lately, so let me catch you up on what just happened anyways, just so we catch it. So I gotta go in here and get the part. So hooking up, this is the ram for the deflector, and these are the fittings that came with it. Pop this cap off here. It's the wrong size, so I need to get that hose, whatever size that is, I'm not even sure, to that, or this fitting, remade to this hose size is probably what's going to happen. These fittings are going to be cheap compared to a new hose, so I got to go to the place where I get hoses made and let them know. This side down here worked just fine. As a matter of fact, I might end up taking one of those off, take with me, because I believe that is the right size hose. So I'll take one of these fittings with me and say I need this and this together. So some sort of adapter or something, I'm not even sure. So piss poor planning on MK Martin's freaking strike one. So, but I got everything else done, as I was saying in the other video that may or may not have recorded. I got the PTO shaft hooked up. It's got a shear pin instead of a slip clutch, which I'm not a huge fan of, but there's just no space in there for a slip clutch. It would hit the auger, so we'll run with it. I cannot use the hydraulic top link because this snowblower has two hydraulic functions. It's got the chute deflector, and then it's got the chute rotation and the chute deflector. So that's going to use up both my hydraulic remotes. So I'll just use the mechanical top link that came with the tractor on it while I'm out blowing snow. So what I've done so far, going back to that, is I mounted the chute. I had to put this hydraulic motor on that rotates the chute and the cover and those lines, the PTO shaft. And there's a plate guard thing that goes right here, from right down here to up here. And it's somewhere. I took it off so I can get that PTO shaft on there. So I think the only thing that's next is figure out this hydraulics with these fittings. And unfortunately, they're closed today. Everybody's closed today. So it's going to be like a week from now kind of thing when I'm going to have time to get over there and get the right parts. But it is what it is. Nothing like shutting me down for a week. But I'm not blowing snow this week anyway. I just don't want to have to hook it and unhook it and hook it and unhook it and all that stuff. So I want to test it, but I can't test it if I can't hook it up. So, but I can grease it and that sort of thing. So, alrighty. So, those are some of the things I don't like about it, but overall, I really do like it. And you might be asking yourself, Nick, why in the world did you spend your money on an inverted snowblower when you have a box blade and the front end loader and you've been using that for years to plow your driveway? Well, if you watch back a few episodes, I actually got some gravel on my driveway, finally. And I didn't want to scrape all that gravel off the side of the road. So I figured that a snowblower would be a little bit more gentle on the amount of gravel that it throws. And I am right. Now that it is more frozen, the ground is frozen, I got that raked back a little more, it leaves a little bit of snow, and we're going to take a walk here in just a second, go look at what we just did. But it doesn't pick up as much gravel anymore. So I think now that it's really cold and we got snow on the ground, it's kind of skating over the top of it. It's not digging into that gravel. But a more important thing is the cutting edge on the bucket. Scraping along the ground is wearing down that cutting edge. Now I can replace the bucket, I can replace the cutting edge. They're not horribly expensive. Certainly not as expensive as an inverted snowblower. But it's just one of those things that it's like, this is a tool for the task, where the front end loader isn't necessarily designed as a snow plow. It'll do it, but it's not very efficient and it wears it down. The cutting edge on this particular bucket isn't actually replaceable. It's welded on, not bolted on. So I would have to weld on a new one or just buy a whole new bucket. I'll make that decision when I have to do that. And I will have to do that eventually, but I want to prolong that as long as possible. So now, let's go out and take a look at what we just did and see the final results. Being that it's all white and snowy, it's going to be kind of hard, but we'll do our best. So we're just walking along here. Coming out the driveway, you can see my tracks, and hopefully this is being picked up on screen well enough. We'll get down here pretty low. Here we go, here's a good spot. You can see that's the gravel right there. So it's leaving a little bit of snow, but it's also getting it right down to that gravel layer. We get just a little bit of sun on this road, then it will melt this right up and it'll be right back to gravel. And that's what we've seen the last couple of weeks. We'll get a few inches of snow, I'll come out and blow it, and later that afternoon it's back to a gravel road. One of the things I didn't think about while I was actually out here blowing the snow was I have motion sensors around my property, and these motion sensors are just to let me know inside the house when someone shows up. Driveway alarms is what I'm talking about, but I have them all over the place. Now, I forgot about these, and they don't work so well when they're packed full of snow. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Right there on that tree is the sensor for the upper part of the driveway. And this little window is just chock full of snow. I think that'll do. There we go. Oops. I have more that I've actually hit, but and I try to remember where they're at and not shovel snow onto them like that, but things happen. So let's come over here. I'm going to show you my neighbor's road. Now, they did actually gravel all the way up before the snow flew, and I actually helped spread it out. They have a circular driveway up there, but I only do one side of it. Because they have a concrete pad, I don't drive on their concrete pad with chains on. So I don't go down the other side. And the other side's not graveled. It's really steep and it's really rutted out. So I told them, I'll get you guys out this winter, but you probably should figure out another way of doing the road. Now, whatever that is, I also told them that this section right here, which you saw in the driveway video, all the way down to the road, that's my road. Everywhere that I am standing up to there is their road. What they do on their road, I don't care, so long as it doesn't mess up my road. So I'm a friendly guy, and I'm willing to help him out. He wants to buy a tractor. He's also the one that rolled that rental tractor off the side of the hill. That day I told him, don't worry about getting a tractor. I will be your tractor. They don't need to be spending a lot of money on a tractor and implements and that sort of thing. when I have it. And I've extended that out to all of my neighbors, though no one really has taken me up on that offer. So if you're a neighbor of mine and you're watching this, you now know that I have an inverted snowblower. If you need me to come blow your driveway, just let me know. I'm happy to do it. It doesn't take me but just a few minutes anyway. Well, that's all I have for this video. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'm trying to make more of these videos, and you know, I'm really enjoying doing it now that I actually got some better equipment. So hopefully the audio problem is not so bad. I'm using the shotgun mic mounted on the top of the DSLR camera right now, and there is no microphone on the GoPro except for the little built-in guy. I'd like to change that. They do make a little mountable microphone for it, but we'll see. I do still have my lapel microphone, but the batteries are dead, and I didn't have, you know, enough time to charge them up. So, and it's not the greatest microphone anyway. But anyway, sorry, that's all I got. Have a good one. Thanks. Bye.